John, I'm telling you, we're in an environment today in the military that is really frightening. And that is with the congressional pressure and leadership pressure and pressure from the outside on cases of sexual assault. I mean, even in all of the services, they've created these special prosecutors with a special convening authority that deal with all serious cases to include allegations of sexual assault. You can lose your job, you can go to jail. What does a soldier or any service member do if they're facing false allegations of sexual assault?
I think the soldier has to do three things right off the bat, Will. First, stay calm. And stay calm and understand that there is help available. Second, contact an attorney immediately. And then third, invoke your Article 31 rights and do not provide a statement to anyone, including any family members, peers, clergy, colleagues, chain of command, particularly law enforcement.
I think it's absolutely critical if somebody accuses you of sexual assault and it is an unfounded allegation, you better find the best lawyer out there, somebody who's gone through sexual assault training, who's prosecuted and defended these cases.
That's right. And Will, you and I have worked on both sides of the aisle in the courtroom. We've both been prosecutors. We've both been defense counsel. You have a ton more of experience. And we understand what prosecutors are looking at. And prosecutors want to convict. We understand their viewpoint. We're able to understand cases from their perspective. And for that reason, we're able to understand how to build a better defense for our clients.
Right. I think it's essential that someone facing these false allegations preserves every piece of evidence that exists. Now, you don't go out and do an investigation. You don't go out and talk to people. You follow all the rules, regulations, and orders, but you tell your lawyers what to do. Because if you try to do it on your own as somebody who's facing these allegations, they're going to hit you with obstruction charges. They're going to hit you with interfering with an investigation charge. They're going to hit you with violation of orders. It's going to be a nightmare. But you need to talk to your lawyers and let your lawyers do this counter investigation. And that is saving every email, every text, every WhatsApp message, every Snapchat that you've got a picture of, everything that shows that this relationship that you had with this individual was consensual or that there was not a matter of sexual assault.
That's correct, Will. And you never know what tiny little piece of evidence could be so crucial. Maybe not even direct evidence that shows that the allegations are false, but even seeing things just as simple as timestamps on messages to show that you were in a particular place during the time that the assault was alleged to have occurred. You have to preserve every single piece of evidence. Let your attorney review it as the attorney comes to understand all the facts and circumstances surrounding the case, and then put the puzzle back together.
Right. I think what's one of the most troubling things is someone makes an allegation and then they come to you and you just get a general allegation. Hey, it's sexual assault or abusive sexual contact or rape. But there are no facts that are given to you. So if it didn't happen, if it's a false allegation, how do you prove the negative of something that did not happen? You don't even know what the allegation is. And we won't know about that allegation until the investigation is complete and action is taken and we're able to go out and do our counter investigation.
That's correct. We have very limited access to any kind of information that law enforcement holds during the course of their investigation. They are not obligated to turn over any information to us until any potential adverse action is posed by the chain of command.
So what's someone do?
Well, they have to contact an attorney. The attorney can assist you in identifying various sources of information, various pieces of evidence, witnesses that help put the puzzle all back together to help you formulate a defense. Many times, we rely on the assistance of the client themselves because the client understands the environment much better than the attorney. So while we tell the client, don't do your own investigation, that's not to say you're not going to help.
Absolutely.
We turn to the client and we get all of the information from the client so that we can do our job much better.
Right. So the first thing that I would do, a client says, hey, I was taken down to CID. They asked me to give a statement I invoked. Well, I want that rights warning waiver because it's going to say what they're accused of. Now, if they're accused of sexual assault, that commander is also going to give him a no contact or a military protective order. And he'll probably get a counseling statement, and he'll probably get a flag. And I'll take these documents and put them together, and I can build a very outline structure of what the allegation is. I'll know who the victim is. I'll know what the allegations are from the NPO. I'll know what the allegations are from the flag and from the rights warning waiver. So we'll have a skeleton. And based on that skeleton, I'll talk to the client and say, hey, what the heck? What's going on here? And they'll go, oh, well, I used to date this girl. I dumped her and she's all mad at me. And I'm like, all right, now we can start piecing it together. We start focusing on investigating why there's a false allegation. We can start investigating on, the nature of the relationship, and we can investigate on people who may have been around during certain times or certain locations.
And well, you and I are former JAGs. The way we practice our law here at the Law Office of Wilhelm Helixon, we first aim to build good relationships with the chain of command, good relationships with the JAG office, the various attorneys, the prosecutors, and CID to help us garner information, not necessarily in a subversive way, but many times if we have these relationships built within our jurisdiction, we are able to understand the entirety of the case much more easier.
The adage is you get more flies with honey than vinegar is true. And, that's not to say that if the building needs to be burned down, we're going to burn it to the ground, right? But not all buildings need to be burned down. Sometimes you need to work in a cooperative, collaborative manner rather than in an adversive, slash and burn manner.
And we know when those moments are. We know the moments when we should be more cordial and talk and try to understand and negotiate, but we also understand what it takes to get into a fight.
Sure, and I've had several cases this last year where, I collaborated with law enforcement to say, hey, look, this is not what it appears to be. And we agreed to do statements. And in those cases, the cases were unfounded or actually today found not to have probable cause.
There are many cases where I've had my client also give a statement, but that is a crucial decision that must be carefully calculated and understood with the assistance of an attorney.
So at the end of the day, you hire a lawyer, lawyers do the investigation, you piece together what's going on. What should the soldier or the airman or Coast Guardsman or Marine be doing in the meantime?
Again, stay calm. Understand that this is going to be a long effort. CID investigations take a very, very long time. They're undermanned. They have a ton of cases that they're trying to investigate. So the best thing you can do as a soldier is try to relax, try to be the best soldier you can be at the right place, in the right uniform, at the right time, do everything you're told to do, be the best soldier you can be, but at the same time, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, reach out to family for support, talk to us. Aside from us being attorneys, we've been in many situations ourselves personally and with our clients where we can understand and sympathize or empathize with what the clients are going through. And we are happy to talk to you anytime, any night, any day, 24/7, if you just need some moral and mental support.
That's absolutely true, John. And I'll tell you this, the mental health piece of this is critical, right? If our client is not in a good frame of mind, if they're stressed out, if they have high anxiety, if this is weighting them down to where they're depressed, they are not as effective in assisting us build their case, and hence their defense is not as good. So seeking out mental health professionals, seeking out, family life counselors, doing exercise, being participatory, having a good outlook, those are all essential for your defense. And, I'm not the biggest exercise guy in the world, but if you're facing these allegations, you need to be working out regularly. You need to be keeping yourself mentally and physically sharp.
That's correct, because the more you go down and spiral down a hole, the more also you're inclined to commit further acts of misconduct. And believe me, these sort of allegations weigh very, very heavily on the shoulders of our clients, and we're there for your support.
All right. If you're facing false allegations of sexual assault, give us a call at the law office of Will M. Helixon. We're here to help. You defend the nation. We defend you.